You don't have time to make a brownie, right?
You should have said something. Reach the
FFOP Radio.
You call him.
You're listening to FFOP Radio.
Reach the Hey everybody, and welcome to the show. Catch me running around. I forgot to turn those lights on, but here we are. It's FFOP Radio. Welcome to it. My name is Dave. How's it going? We got a little bit something special. I mean, obviously you can see here in the corner, you can see the special guest. Let me introduce, right, cool intro. So first, okay, let me back up, do things slowly and carefully so I don't fuck up the things that I need to do. So number one, what you heard right there before the show started was a little ditty put together for us by FDO. Banger, love the shit out of it. Thank you, FDO. If you're not against the idea, I will push your YouTube channel. Drop a 1 in the comments if that's cool. Now, who we have in studio? Obviously, it's me, and Krista is off camera, my co-host and producer.
Obvi.
Now, on the phone, as it were, we have Ryan Maxwell. What's up, Ryan?
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Fistful of Popeye Radio. I'm your host, Ryan. With me is my co-host, Krista, and our producer, Dave.
Well, hot damn. Turn the tables on me, you son of a bitch. Okay, so here's the thing. Check out FDO. Yeah, he drops a one. So check out FDO. Uncanny Jams is his channel on YouTube. Again, he gave us that awesome intro. I will send you anything you want to make into a song, FDO. I'm saying that right now. I've got a bunch of clips of us, a bunch of sound drops that I can't use because somebody can't work a soundboard.
Me. It's me.
It's Krista.
It's me. I can't work a
And
soundboard.
Ryan. Ryan
I've got
can't
too many
either.
things. I got things all over.
Anyway, so
Don't make me have to separate you two.
So let's unpack this a little bit. So if you're unfamiliar with who Ryan is, like what? We met over on Baked Salmon's show. Shout out to Baked Salmon for everything he does for us. Super appreciated. However, Ryan has done so much for us that so every time you watch this show and we are ingesting commercials from a oddly specific date, as in like today, that was gotten to us by Ryan. And also some of the training videos. So Ryan does, yeah, that's him. It's got 2 donuts. Looks like this is,
I know. I was getting the link
Talking
so I could copy it.
yeah, Chris is going to put it in the chat box there. So Ryan, let's unpack you a little bit. What's up, Ryan? I understand you are a human. What's going to put that? No, just kidding. I want to get a little bit of the lay of the land because I'm not super familiar on your backstory and I don't want to pick your brain off camera, as it were. So just give me, first of all, let's start here. Give me a ballpark of the decade in which you were born. Because I feel like you're younger than me.
Oh, I was born in the 80s.
Okay. Late 80s?
85.
Okay. I'm not trying to dox you or anything, but 85 is good because I'm 83.
Oh,
And Again, I'm not trying to dox you, but what is your full address along with your zip code? Do you have like a phone number that we could call you at?
The last 4 digits of your social.
What's that last four of your social? Okay. So Ryan here, friend of the show, fan of the show. I wanted to get him on for a couple of reasons. I like having friends on. Did you get the baked salmon bump? Asked Jameson. I did. We gained like 6 subscribers, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, and your mom's maiden name.
Oh,
so
right.
It's, FDS.
Of
So
course.
definitely, I'll just send you a questionnaire, Google Doc. You can fill it out after the show. But I want to dig into you a little bit because one of your key elements is your love of Popeye, and so I want to dig into that a hair because as I was sitting here, thinking about things to ask you on the show, I go, well, like, what if somebody asked me why I like the Ninja Turtles? I can think of a million reasons because they're cool. Popeye is a completely different time period and demographic, so I want to dig into that a little bit. So let's start with, like, where did you first experience Popeye? And was that was it love at first sight?
It was on my local UHF station in Chicago, WPWR Channel 50, and they used to run the Fleischer cartoons, the black and white Popeyes from the 30s, in the early afternoon. And one day I was about maybe 2 or 3 years old, and my mom just sat me down in front of the TV so she could have some peace and quiet. And she put on the first kid-appropriate thing she could find, and it happened to be Popeye, and I just fell in love with it. And about maybe 6 months to a year later, we were in an antique mall because my mom is big into antiques, and so am I. And she found a stuffed Popeye doll from the 50s, and she gave that to little Ryan, and I still have it today, and it started a collection that's still going.
That's wild. So, like, here's the thing. Like, if someone were to ask me about Ninja Turtles, and God, please, someone. No. I can look and see a lot of things that, like, stuck with me. Because, like, when you're a kid, like, reptiles and amphibians are, like, super impressive. I don't know why. Like, reptiles and amphibians were something that I was like, yo, like, why couldn't I have been born a toad or whatever? But, to add that, the mutant
Why
aspect.
couldn't I have been born a cartoon sailor?
You wanted to be a sailor?
No, I was just being funny.
Oh, well, some people, the Navy exists, Ryan. Like, to this day, people want to sail the sea. So that's not an unbelievable thing. So when you watch Popeye, what is it about you go, oh, I like that aspect? Is it the storytelling? Is it the character design? What is it?
Well, I think as a kid, it was the unique animation style of the Fleischer studio, like what they call rubber hose animation,
Right.
where the characters just sort of flail around and stuff. And it just spoke to me for whatever reason. But the real reason I love the characters to this day is that, Popeye stands up for himself and doesn't let anybody push him around. And he's the little guy standing up in a world full of giants. And he stands up for what's right and defends his friends and what he believes in. That's a very admirable characteristic.
Okay, so Popeye hits you more in the feels than the I don't know, the aesthetics, I guess, what other? Because, like...
Yeah, and he's also sort of like, in my opinion, like the pivot point in American pop culture, because so much of American pop culture centers around him. Like, for example, when Donkey Kong was created,
Oh, right.
it was originally going to be a Popeye game.
Right.
And Nintendo went to King Features, who owns Popeye. They said, we want to make a Popeye game. And King Features said, fuck no. And they said, okay, well, fuck you. And they turned they turned Bluto into the gorilla. They turned Olive into a princess, and they turned Popeye into Mario.
Yeah, Pauline.
So,
like,
if King Features, Pauline.
what a great name.
But if King Features would have agreed initially, there never would have been a Mario. And if there was no Mario, there would have been no video game revolution of the 80s. And the whole world would be completely different without Mario.
Oh, God. I shudder to think about how much Well, that's the thing. I can't say because it's like a butterfly effect. Here I am suffering with Mario and everybody growing up with that, and I go, oh, yeah. But like, flip of the coin, we could have gotten the butterfly effect and something else. But FDO asks a good question because maybe people don't know this, but Bluto and Brutus, two different people, yes? And who's your favorite?
Well, Bluto. The reason that there even are two different characters is because King Features, who owns Popeye, is stupid and lazy.
Yeah.
They made cartoons for theaters from 1933 to 1957 through Fleischer and later Paramount. And those got sold to TV broadcasts in 1957, and they were the hottest thing for children's entertainment back then because there wasn't anything else. Just like how when Nickelodeon started out, they didn't have any original programming, so they imported it all from Canada.
Right.
The early 50s didn't have a lot of children's programming, so they just showed old theatrical cartoons. So King Features owns Popeye, but they don't own the cartoons. So the movie studio is making a lot of money because they sold the TV rights. The TV stations are making a lot of money because advertisers and people are watching.
Yeah.
And the only people that aren't making money are the people that actually own Popeye. So
it's
1960 comes along and they said, we're getting fucked out of this money and we need to do something, so we'll make our own damn Popeye cartoons. And they made the same amount of cartoons that were made from 1933 to 1957, they made in 1 year through like 5 animation studios, 220 cartoons in a year.
What? So what are these? We're talking like what are they, 3 to 11 minutes roughly? Because they're not like full feature length, obviously.
Yeah, like 35 minutes. And King Features thought since Bluto was in the theatrical cartoons, Bluto must belong to Paramount. We can't use Bluto.
Oh.
So they created. But what they didn't realize was that Bluto was actually created in 1932 by Popeye's creator, Elsie Segar, and King Features did own Bluto, and they just didn't know it. And they never bothered to check, so they wound up creating this entirely different character that looked similar but legally distinct.
That feels a little bit like, oh God, who wrote John Carter of Mars? The same guy who wrote Tarzan, right? What's his name? Burroughs?
Edgar Rice Burroughs?
There you go, Edgar Rice Burroughs. It's like there are so many properties out there that are like split up like that. Like there are some companies that own like the rights to John Carter, some that own the rights to Mars, some that own the rights to this or that. And it's weird how that can happen. Because like it would be like as if 2 of the Ninja Turtles got whisked away to Nickelodeon, like Mikey and Raph get Nickelodeon, and like Johnny and Leo go off to like TNT or some crazy shit like that. You go, how does that even happen? Like they live in the same universe.
Right. Like how in the 80s there were 2 Ghostbusters cartoons at the same time.
Right, but one was the real Ghostbusters.
The good Ghostbusters.
Yeah. I mean, not for nothing. I mean, who in their right mind?
And that was all because Filmation did a live action. Oh, go ahead.
Well, yeah, because right, that's the thing. That live action thing was weird too. But like,
Hello.
Doesn't it feel like maybe like that's the cool thing about the 80s and 90s? You could put like the real in front of it and just like rip off the name of something else, because that's what the Ghostbusters did. They just held themselves the real Ghostbusters. Because like I wasn't gonna watch that Hanna-Barbera shit with the gorilla.
Yeah.
Filmation, but yeah,
Filmation,
that
sorry.
was awful.
Same barrel of fish, you know what I mean? Because like back, it just felt like there was a factory farm of cartoons. Like in Hanna-Barbera is probably the greatest offender of it, with all like the reused animation and shit. But that's another thing I kind of want to touch on too, because Popeye always looks like Popeye, whereas like my favorite characters, the Ninja Turtles, look any which way. Like they can look like just turtles wearing bandanas in the original one, all the way up to those weird horned up ones with the nostrils in the Michael Bay produced films. Like you'll probably never see Popeye, who doesn't look like Popeye, unnecessarily horny towards people, I think. So you got that.
I am having a little bit of trouble hearing you. Your audio keeps cutting in and out.
Dang it. That's the problem with Discord, you know what I mean? But let's so here's the thing. Our connection might not be great for talking. So let me transition into this. So not to break your heart, Ryan. So Ryan did get us some oddly prescient commercials for this day and date. The problem was there was such VHS hiss on both of them. I felt like it would be an assault on the ears a little bit. So what I did find was we've got some stuff from 1996.
96.
That's a good year.
Yeah, so this is from, it's from a bunch of different things. It's from CNN, USA, KCET, and TNN, which I don't remember TNN, but I feel like I kind of do.
The Nashville Network.
Right. It was like it always felt like a ripoff of TNT because I knew that existed, but like TNN, I would just skip
I
past.
want to say like Walker, Texas Ranger used to be on like TNN.
I thought that was a TNT thing. Not horny. Have you seen his forearms? Well, but yeah, he's tugging more than a boat, sure. But he's never like you never see him be like sexually aggressive towards I was gonna say April O'Neil, and obviously you don't see that either.
No.
But you don't see him being like too overly salacious to Olive. But here's the thing, man. The internet is full of perverts, and by an extension, so is Facebook. And so while I'm scrolling through things on my feed that I actually like friends, you know, like it used to be in the old days, there's a cavalcade of thirst trap cartoons that I feel are missing the mark utterly with me. But I did see one that made me think of you, where Popeye, you know, Popeye and Olive Oil are standing there. He's got the spinach, but she takes it and eats it, and her boobs get super huge. I go, why did we never see that in the cartoons?
They did used to have things. Have you ever heard of a Tijuana Bible?
Yes.
Tijuana Bibles for the uneducated were little 8-page comic books that were drawn by soldiers during World War II and passed around to other soldiers, and they were almost always pornographic. And it wasn't just Popeye. They would do real people. They would do like ones about Mae West or any big movie stars of the time. But they did all different kinds of cartoons too, and they were just dirty comics.
I guess it's kind of interesting to see that like cartoon perverts have always existed. Like I'm sure kids today think Rule 34 is like a brand new thing, but you know, there were dudes in the trenches of World War I yanking it to cartoons, so I guess gross throughout the ages. Disgusting. Anyway, so like I said, what I've got for you here, a little bit of 1996 commercials. Now Ryan and I are going to be watching it along with you, so let's get this party started and the ball rolling. You know what I mean? Maybe.
Sure.
Oh, there we go. Definitely the classic play. We got to get that.
Plus, all tires are on sale. Plus, ask for 0 interest on all electronics, $2.99 and up. Whirlpool, Maytag, and GE appliances, $3.99 and up. And all furniture and premium mattress sets, $4.99 and up. So get into Montgomery Ward today, while there's still some competition to crush.
Montgomery Ward still exists.
Yeah, thank God. When did they go out of... It was like they didn't even make it... No, I want to say they died in 2000. I was going to say they didn't make it into the thousands, but I think they made it to 2000. But...
That's what I was going to say, 2000.
I want to say they died in 2000 because I remember as a kid going to Toys R Us, and the Toys R Us we went to had a Montgomery Ward freestanding brick and mortar building next to it. I go, we have to go there too? I hated it. 2001.
This
Okay,
CNET Central. Forget the singles bars and find your perfect date on the internet.
I met a guy online. We started this incredible whirlwind romance.
Coming up next
Imagine
on
meeting
USA.
someone on the internet and then marrying them.
gross. Ugh. The internet's full of perverts, guys. Watch out for that shit.
You're one of those weirdos.
Still an online company.
I have a memory of that being true. So FDO, I didn't want to say that and be wrong because I feel like I watched an episode of Retail Archaeology where he said that.
Oh, yeah. I think you're right.
But who knows? I mean, obviously you do. I say that rhetorically.
FDO knows.
Same with service merchandise. They still
Meet the
exist
first
online.
fully interactive
Mm.
digital
Nice.
rock band.
Is the name Dicko?
Looking for love in all the wrong places? Now you can look on the net.
We started this incredible whirlwind romance.
Babe-O-Rama! Look at that. Oh my God. Could it get more 90s? Oh man. I miss websites looking like this. But, you know, full disclosure, I'm a fan of shitty aesthetics. And this. I mean, you see the thumbnails for this this show. Hey, whoa, baked salmon in the house, right? Great web design. I'm saying, like, this is something I would make on Canva and make you guys look at.
FDO says,
Whirlwind romance.
I'm going to tell you guys something about my personal life. I met my wife on the internet. She's genuinely my best friend.
My God, you're disgusting.
David and I met on the internet.
Don't tell them that. I don't want to be lumped
Too
into
late.
FDO's category. Kidding. But so that is something that will come up a little later because I did peek at this. Yeah, they were cool.
Gina St. John.
And I'm Richard Hart. All that plus our digital summer travel guide and more. All on CNET Central.
Digital summer travel
CNET
guide.
Central is brought to you in part by Microsoft.
Oh.
Where do you want to go today? Network MCI Business and Pipeline, the home internet provider.
Ah.
Sonny Bono.
Look at how crazy this is. Okay, so let me talk about this for just a quick second, and Ryan, you can weigh in. I don't know why maybe I do. Like the pictures of things that we still use, like for voicemail, it's still a cassette, and no one alive knows what that is. I feel like we should have done that same thing for sounds. I miss the annoying modem dialing thing. Like, it was such a cultural touchstone. And now, like, the internet is always on and silent, and I feel like that's less fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Windows doesn't have a startup sound anymore.
No, like, what the fuck, dudes and dudettes? Like, everything used to make noise, and now it makes noise in an obnoxious way. Like, instead of having a little jingle when you start your phone up, you just get to listen to somebody's shitty mixtape while you're waiting for a movie to start, or they'll just keep it, whatever. Moral of the story is, I don't know why, because I think I talked about this on an older show too. Yes, you got mail. So, because like on your phone or some phones, especially in Japan, because of all those perverts, they have to have an uncancelable picture-taking noise, and it's still like the shutter and the speed winder of a film camera. Like, who here is old enough to have lived through this experience, right? Because now your email, just anytime you get an email, pops up as a notification because it's always there. Back in the old days, I would have to open up the program for Juno, and I would have to say retrieve. And you'd hear the modem noise. It would make a bunch of screeching like a demon was trying to break out of your computer. And then a little bar would fill up, and it'd say, oh, you have 4 emails. And I would go, yay, that's fun, because I didn't know if I had any. It was kind of like, it was like an Easter egg hunt or something like that. You go, oh, I wonder if I got anything. Now, every time my phone goes off, I go, God damn it. Shut up. Mortgage, your reverse mortgage, or like someone wants to sell me some rain gutters, or like someone wants to sell me some antivirus shit. And I just go, fuck. It's annoying.
I want to talk to you about your car's extended warranty.
Yeah.
It's free real estate. Like that.
Max had the monkey chirp sound.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, even like, not for nothing, before the internet, like Commodores all had like startup chirps and shit. Mm-hmm. What's up, Matt?
Hey, Matt.
Yeah, Windows noises were amazing. Everything was just so great. I mean, obviously the sound quality and the video quality wasn't great because we were recording on VHS, but it doesn't give it character.
Sure. Good.
Yikes.
This is about the virtual office, about breaking the chains, stretching the boundaries, and making the world your workplace, about taking your business everywhere.
See, it's so early, they don't know what the fucking internet is. So you have to show pictures of people like holding pencils, like, what's that? Or like doing yoga. Like, could you imagine someone describing the internet to you now and showing you someone doing yoga? Like,
How's your downward dog?
exactly. Ah! Yeah, but that's a yoga move, right? I mean, come on, it's totally safe.
Where and anywhere, about paging, laptops, cell phones, the internet, and conferencing. And it's not
R.I.P. Jameson's computer. Mom just took it and totally threw it away.
conversation or speculation. This is
But he's still got all that time on his hands to make like 10 dozen cookies.
about how one company can give you the help, hardware, and
I miss
software
MCR
to
too.
make your virtual office a reality. This is about how far you can go once you know how. Network MCI.
P.S. I wasn't allowed to work from home from a virtual office until 18 years after this commercial, so it moved lightning fast.
你需要 Lotus Notes 在网络上自动复制更新的数据，这样每个人都可以随时得到最新的信息，甚至是环球网上。这样就能知己知彼，百战百胜。一点儿也没错。
Yeah, we got a cavalcade of celebrity and quasi-celebrities. Oh my god, I love this graphic.
This is CNET Central.
Welcome back to CNET Central, your resource for computers and digital technology. Now, first up today, people meeting online. Most people will tell you they use the internet for communication, but communication is getting more personal as dating services have arrived on the net.
ASL.
Plus, you know, as soon as like someone could type from one place to another, cyber sex began. And so let's talk about that. Like, hey, you guys ever go online to find a random stranger who could be literally anybody and talk dirty to him for a few minutes? That's on CNET.
Most services have utilized
You're right,
videotapes.
FDO. It looks like the Bill Nye the Science Guy intro.
But now that they're on the net, they're more interactive, faster, and even more secure. So my advice to the lovelorn is log on.
I think they're swell.
Dating. It used to be a formal affair with very strict rules.
And now it's created a bunch of incels who are supreme gentlemen. So obviously the internet was a perfect thing.
Yeah.
Say, Kay, next Friday there's going to be a weenie roast, or there'll be a bowling party if you'd rather do that.
You know, dating has changed a lot since then.
Look at
and
me.
so
I'm
has
gonna
the
get a
way
date
that
right
people
now.
meet each other. Searching through personal ads in the newspaper may soon become a thing of the past thanks to your computer
God, say it
and the
isn't so.
internet. Singles can meet and converse in
like
online
Craigslist.
chat rooms, and dozens of dating services have
God, like the tiny, like 800 by 400 pixel photos, like embedded with like terrible frames and shit. Like, oh my God, I cannot believe we ever stopped using this format.
recently sprung up on the net, attracting thousands of people looking
Say what?
I said total GeoCities vibes.
Totally. I had a GeoCities site, and you find those like GIFs, like you can just steal online, and like I had a website that offered literally nothing. It offered literally nothing. Like it just had like it was. Well, maybe I shouldn't take this for granted, but since my dad worked in like the technology field, we always had computers and shit, and so like we just got a wild hair up our asses one day, and me and my brother both got websites, and like it was the stupidest looking, shittiest thing in the world. It was like a picture of me, all the stupid shit I liked in junior high. And, you know, it wasn't searchable on Google or any other site that possibly existed back then. So this is so embarrassing to tell you guys, but why not? So what I did was I copied the link to my website, which was like this long IRL, and I
Put it in a
printed
Word
it
doc.
a million times on a piece of paper, and then I cut the links, and I would hand a piece of paper, no shit, 8.5 inches long, and whatever, a quarter of an inch high, to every friend and anybody I thought I could get to watch my shit. But that, again, nothing on it. And so I would run home after handing out all these things because my site had a little ticker on it. Every time someone looked at my site, it would go up. I don't think I ever broke double digits.
Well, could you imagine typing in that website off piece
exactly.
paper?
That's why I'm saying, like, it wasn't, I couldn't shorten it to like davestupidsite.com. It was like fucking GeoCities and 9 feet of text. So I had to hand someone this thing and be like, good luck. To see nothing again.
Do these services really work? Well, we asked one of our producers, Alex Michelle, to try one out. He's
Someone
logging on to
screenshot the shot of him
Match.com.
doing that. Doing what?
Yeah, doing what? This?
We asked one of our producers to try this site. He was banned in 5 minutes.
Yeah, he immediately sent a dick pic to a decoy and he got fired. Alex Michelle.
Alex will log into this, posting a profile of personal
How long is
information,
your
including his
URL?
photograph.
Oh, it's like this long, baby. You couldn't fit it all in your mouth if you tried, I'd tell him.
His picture and profile can then be accessed by other people using the...
P.S. though, if you're a Red Letter Media fan, does this not feel like Cybersex Live, like that VHS cassette that they did on A Wheel of the Worst? Like, at any moment, Alex Michelle is going to whip his shirt off and, like, have to pin a lav mic around a cord around his neck?
using the service. Alex can also browse their photos. Has tried
He's
to
gonna get
attract women
catfished.
who are currently underrepresented on the internet by focusing on issues like security.
Come on, ladies.
We use an anonymous remailer that strips your real email address from
Strips
your
you.
email messages before you choose to reveal your true identity, if that's what you ultimately choose to do.
Our customers are
I love
enthusiastic, and I think we're going to add
You think he pronounces his last name Creeman? Gary Creeman?
a lot of love to the planet.
Oh, absolutely. I'm juggling 2 guys, and hopefully, if I'm lucky, I'll be juggling a few more.
I actually met a very nice lady.
You know what I mean? Yeah, not for nothing. Don't take this video down, YouTube. It's juggling balls. Juggling balls.
It's
Not
the
testicles.
Micro Machines guy.
Oh, shit, you're right. Or he kind of looks like a South American drug lord, too.
Online.
She
Look
doesn't
at
have
that necklace.
to, go put on lipstick to write email.
It was my first time on, and I guess I got lucky.
I'm looking forward to maybe meeting some other ladies.
He was my match.
Ice Truck says, I guess today's equivalent of front page would just be a site like Squarespace.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You go like, yeah. Because, like, that's the thing. When the internet was new, I didn't see it as a stupid thing to do, just have a site that says nothing. But now you can do that.
Speaking of Squarespace,
doesn't he look
this
like
episode?
What do you mean? No, but doesn't that guy look like Bob? What's his face? The guy who brought chicken sandwiches who wanted to lick the ice cream off of that chick. Hello, that is totally him. You can't see him right now,
Reed
but
has
trust me.
Few people online.
From
He
this
brought chicken
ad,
sandwiches.
For 400 men, and I've actually even gone out with 20 of these guys.
Yikes.
If anybody's watching and they're interested, they can still look it up, and I'm still listed, and they can contact me.
She's waiting to get her back blown out by an internet stranger.
Seriously, like so David and I met online.
Online.
I only
She catfished me.
I catfished
I
David.
thought she was a dude.
I went out on one date with one guy prior to meeting David, and that was a shit show. And then I met David. Like I wasn't like blowing through 400 dudes to go on a date with 20 of them to still be
37
like
dicks.
still available.
At once? No, yeah, that's the thing. Like you're gonna date online like you date in reality. I don't want to say prolific online, but I was versed. Like I went, because that's the thing. Because of the ratio, the 85 dudes to the 15 ladies, I don't want to say catfished, but I got hornswoggled a couple times. Like I went, like every blind date internet goes, you see the picture from like here to here. And you go, hey, that's cool. What do you like? What do you not like? You talking about music and all the vapid, boring shit to get to that sweet, sweet puss. So then you make the date, you go to the spot and you wait. And I remember this like it was yesterday because I felt really like bait and switched. You go, hey, I'm in high school or maybe just after. I said, meet me at In-N-Out Burger because all my friends work there for some reason. So I meet me at In-N-Out Burger. I'll be sitting outside wearing whatever. And like I'm waiting for her, and I know the car she's going to drive. So she drives by, and I see her in the car. And again, in a car, you see from here to here. So I was like, oh, whoa, that's real. She looks like a real person. And she walked up looking like a weeble. And here's the thing. Everything was against her because I was still, I like to call, like, not a chubby chaser. I was a fatty follower back in that day. And the proportions were all off. Like, all of the dough had fallen. The souffle had fallen, if you will. So the bottom was hefty. You know what I mean? Hefty, hefty, hefty. And the top was wimpy, wimpy, wimpy.
Wimpy, wimpy.
Someone say wimpy.
I knew you'd love that. But that's the thing. Back in the day when I was totally into, you know, anyone who was like double plus my weight, I was into it as long as the proportions are okay. If they had a slamming ass, I would look past the hugeness of it. I would more than look past it. But if like the rack could balance it, you know what I mean? Because like I wanted someone who,
absolutely,
I wanted to think in my mind, like if they fell over, they wouldn't automatically right themselves.
Right. It had to be an hourglass-ish figure.
Because I felt like, because when she got out of that car and started walking over, I felt like if I ran up and just gave her a good shoulder, you know, she would go, whoa, and pop back up like not Ace Ventura, but like Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber when that sushi chef punches him out. And he goes, oh, like I expected that to happen. It's a little bummed.
David could have
Well,
murdered
you know,
me on
Dave,
our
weebles
first date.
wobble, but they don't fall down.
That's the
true.
problem, though. If I push him over, I want him to stay down because I need that weight up top. I'm not saying I want to push a bunch of people over so they'll stay down, but I wanted, you know, like any good fisherman, I wanted a good lure that had the right weight to do the things I wanted to. You know what I mean? Shaped like Saturn or a dreidel. Yeah, that's the problem. I needed to have that cut out of the center to show that the boobs and the butt were separated. It's like when you see a fat person and they don't have a neck. It's just like a head that goes straight down into their shoulders. I need division, people. Ryan
Here's what Alex is doing with his online love life. She's cute. The computer matching program found Alex and Wendy to be compatible. They were then able to start communicating via anonymous email. What impact will all this technology have on our relationships?
You don't get to meet each
I mean, here we are today. Like, you talk to someone for 30 seconds, you send them a dick pic. If they get grossed out, you move on and hope there aren't criminal charges, I guess.
David's
Other
first
right away,
message
you
to
don't
me
get to-
was, hey, it looks like we rate each other pretty high. I'm Dave.
Check out this joint was my third message. I waited till the third one, guys, because I'm a gentleman.
really get to know each other, and you write these wonderful love letters, and you develop yearning for each other.
I'm developing
You're a
learning.
lucky woman, Kristen.
I know.
You're the first person to ever say that, Ryan. That's weird. Wonder why.
And
Oop.
for each other, and you develop anticipation, and so when you finally do meet, it's much sexier.
Anticipation.
Yeah, the internet yearning was the thing I loved most about the 90s.
Mandy's story shows that online dating is
Whoa, she's coming up. She's like cosplaying as Fairuza Balk from The Craft.
not without its pitfalls.
I met a guy online, and we started this incredible whirlwind romance.
Thank you,
I
FTO.
would get just a whole screen full of
Oh, it was the longest URL she'd ever seen, man. I said, check out this URL. That's where I wrote it.
X's and O's, love and kisses. So I packed up my stuff, quit my job, left my apartment, and moved there to be with him. 2 days, it was great. The third day, it fell apart, and he just wasn't the same person.
You're kidding.
In spite of stories like Dina's, most online singles agree.
Internet dating was such bullshit. I went on a date with a girl. I don't even know where we went. She's like, hey, you want to come back to my place? I go, that's cool. We get back to her place, and she immediately falls asleep on the bed.
Nice.
And so I grab her shoulder, and I kind of give her a thing, and I'm like, hey, what the fuck? She's like, smell you later. Out of there.
That beats the bar scene.
The date that I went on prior to meeting David
was raw.
The guy, we went to a movie theater, and then when we left the movies, he confessed his love to me and said he loved me, and I laughed at him because I didn't know what else to do because it was the most awkward situation ever. We couldn't talk during the movie. I paid for my movie ticket, which is whatever. Like, I don't care, you know.
Hey, that's women empowerment.
I can do it. I could afford $7 at the time.
What movie it was?
Godzilla.
No, I don't remember what the movie was. It was
Saving Private Ryan.
maybe.
That's the thing, man.
I don't know.
I never took girls. Saving Ryan's Privates. Oh, Ryan, were you in that? I never took girls to movies.
Yeah,
unless
it's stupid.
Unless I was beyond the point, like comfortable. You know what I mean? Because you want to get like in front of them and sitting next to them, looking at a screen. You don't really learn about anything.
Yeah, our first date, David and mine's first date was I met him at his house. He drove us to the Arboretum, which is like, I don't know, 25 minutes east of where we lived, where he lived.
What's Ryan's babe? Ah!
We went hiking, then we went to P.F. Chang's, and then we went back to his house and watched like 3 dumbass movies.
That was like 2. And they weren't dumbass. They're MST3K. She's making it sound like I'm a total monster. And I totally went out of my way not to duct tape her and throw her off a cliff. You know what I mean? Because it was a 50-50. I was like, we're going to go out into the desert, and if things go great, we'll get married. But if not, I'm going to turn into a serial killer. Instead, we watched MST3K.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
It was like
married and a serial killer.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now I just kill other people.
It was like a 13-hour date.
Who has the time to kill people? I don't have time to date anybody else.
Why you look for someone who's the most attractive. Biggest
The
boobs.
greasiest.
A woman may be attracted to a man with the fanciest car. In cyberspace,
Yeah, I could tell she did not want to watch The Final Sacrifice or Starfighters. I didn't care. I wanted to watch it, and she wasn't going anywhere.
you're attracted to someone because of their humor,
He had dogs.
because of their intellect, and because they're articulate.
Most dating services offer the typical photograph and text, but some have gone one step further.
Oh, yeah, no. I was smart enough not to pull out Manos on the first
Yeah,
date. Like,
that was like the third. No,
yeah, that was like the third. I was like, you got to watch Roused Hour, and you've got to watch Starfighters.
And now you can actually hear what
Watch a
your
little bit of
potential beloved sounds like.
Yeah, baby, if you send me mail, you will not be disappointed.
Ugh.
And the video dating service lets you screen potential matches with
in FMV.
But if you listen to this WAV file, you'll be incredibly disappointed.
You can record 5 seconds of audio or show yourself in a up to 15-second clip that looks like it was shot as a part of like the 7th guest bonus material. Right? Like this looks like
an Al-Qaeda hostage video.
Right, exactly. Like, did you ever have like an encyclopedia on cassette where they would have like, man, it blew my fucking mind when I was a kid, and my dad brought home like a Rolodex thing of CDs, and one of them amongst like Loom and Monkey Island, all the classic LucasArts, was like the Encyclopedia Britannica, and you could look at whatever, and almost every subject had like a small video. And I remember watching a video the size of like, you know, like a special postage stamp, bigger than normal, but still about like that, where like a woman was raising a monkey in a zoo somewhere and had to cut a hole in the diaper for the tail. And that clip lives in my head. I can't evict it. Like, it's not rent free. It's squatting in my mind.
Oh, FTO, they watched 2 Gamera films.
For your first date? Wow, you and I were doing a double header of movies that our partners did not want to get involved
I don't know if that was the first date, but he says when I first showed MS-3K to my wife, I was shocked when she turned out to like it. We watched 2 Gamera films.
Yeah, Ryan, weigh in on this. Are you a Mike or a Joel person?
Mike, all the way.
Right? Hello. Good. All the Gamera stuff was Joel. Did not like Joel. He always came across like, you know, thank God he showed up to be the pioneer of MST3K, which we were all doing anyway. But like, very few Joel. Of course you're a Joel person. God damn it. Very few Joel episodes make my top 100.
Matches with Time movies.
The thing I value most is my friends and family.
Check out this
The
joint.
future holds even more advanced ways of meeting people in cyber.
We found the first webcam.
Whoa.
That is literally the first webcam. I saw it on an episode of the 8-Bit Guy. And I also had this.
Space. New digital cameras and rapidly increasing bandwidth will soon allow singles to meet on the internet.
I feel like Mike was more, I think he was better with the robot characters than Joel.
The problem with Joel was like he always came across as like constantly baked, but he wasn't. He was just like one of those guys who's like, ha, 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 just like a puppet.
Yeah.
So, Krista, had you even heard of MST3K before you met him?
Nope.
I was hitting it out of the park that day, Ryan.
Yeah, he was. Yep.
So it's just a miracle that you're married at all, then.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't. That's the thing. You don't have to, like, you take the King Cobra JFS strategy. You just wait patiently, and if someone shows up and puts up with all your bullshit, then you're done with it. And you go, great, we'll get married. Otherwise, you go, then they run away. But, you know, here's the thing. Not for nothing.
Not that anyone asked.
Right. I was.
Go ahead.
I was a very dense dater person, human. The amount of times I snatched defeat from the jaws of sexual victory, I can't even count, because the ones I'm cognizant of are probably in the minority of the times I could have dipped my wick but didn't, because I was like, Duh. But, you know, I never caught any STDs. I didn't have a lot of sex.
My favorite MST3K episodes are Time Chasers and
Good one.
Overdrawn at the Memory Bank.
Oh, yeah, Raul Julia, even as, I mean, they say it in the episode, but I mean, even as Raul Julia was like treading the boards of like public access Pittsburgh, you could tell that man was super talented. R.I.P. Raul Julia.
Oh, yeah.
Through video conferencing.
My nuts.
Will all this technology and virtual dating replace real dating? Probably not. Most people go into online dating services to have a face-to-face interaction. And how do these work out? Well, for Alex and his online connection,
3 days.
Pretty good.
These
These services are fun, but they're for adults only. So if you're a parent and you're worried about where your kids go on the net, there are products you can use like Surfwatch, which allow you to control.
Chris Hansen will be there to protect your kids in about, oh my God, it'll be almost 10 years from this point.
Where your children are going. They block adult-oriented sites. So if you'd like more information...
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, Chris Hansen was probably still on local TV at that point, like in Michigan or wherever.
Right, yeah, he was talking about the sex trade in like Taiwan, I think, because there's like there's a million pieces of footage out there, but like there's one where he looks like a 12-year-old kid's body with Chris Hansen's head on it walking through the streets of Thailand being like, you know, look at all this weird shit going on.
He looked at Raul Julia and said, someday that man is going to end his career on one of the worst video game movies ever made.
Sometimes that rainbow doesn't end in a pot of gold. It ends in a pile of dog shit.
Information about more of these dating services, check out CNET Online.
Yeah, Chris Hansen was a part of Hansen. That'd be hilarious.
Brought to you by the world leader in Windows graphics.
He was their manager.
Corel Print House is the fast and easy way for everyone to create great-looking greeting cards, stationery, banners, and more. Work with professionally designed samples or start your own creations from scratch.
Something that kids will never understand, or, you know, like the one part of my life that revolved around computers, clip art was a huge part of my existence. Because, you know, if you had a computer and a printer, you were like the richest kid on the block. But like, I would just make stuff in like a paint program, and I had endless amount of clip art that looked like shit, but you would print out something, and since it didn't like come across as like handwritten by a child, it always looked super professional. I would hand people stuff.
With your website name?
No, that's before I had a website. This is like, I would just like get a picture of a clip art frog and be like, here's a document. This is back when I thought when cursive was just like wiggly lines.
This is going to be our son. He is going to do that stuff.
He's not going to get clip art, though.
No, he's going to get Canva, and it's going to be like a better version of clip art, and he's going to do it. Because right now, he just does stickers.
Right, but I do that now. Like, I like to say, like, here's the thing. I say, well, I miss clip art, but now you can just make your own shit. Like, the picture of Ryan you're looking at on this screen over there right now, I'd call that clip art. I stole his photo, and I clipped it out. Yeah. It's art. Look at him. That's hella posh. That's like a real fucking graphic right there. It's free.
It's free, real. From scratch. With
Well,
Corel
every
Print
time you
House, it's
stream.
only a
Yeah, I gotta pay Ryan royalties, obviously, but I mean, it's pennies on the dollar.
Corel Print House, the easy all-in-one graphics powerhouse exclusively for Microsoft
You can
Windows
make sense
95.
names on your phone all day long now.
You're watching CNET, the computer network, on air, online.
You think the C stands for the C word, guys? You think they were edgy back then?
でお子さんたち新しいコンピューター気に入ったの？
それがまだ立ち上げてないんだ。何しろ僕は不器用なもん
Why
で
is
ね。
this guy still awake?
Why does nobody else have
うちは
masks
みんなに
on?
大人気。IBM のホームコンピューター。CD
Home computers not.
Home computer is PC in English. But every time we cut back to the dude on the table, he's got like the Dracula, like the Bela Lugosi Dracula light over his eyes, but they widened it too much.
CD ラムがついてトップトップいっぱいあるし箱から出してすぐ使えるようになってるんですよ。
Delicate Houston in the Addams family.
セットアップできるってわけ。
腕はいらないのよ。
He's dead.
Nurse, why is this man still awake?
Sometimes brain surgery, you have to be awake for it. But
they didn't shave his head. This is not brain surgery.
They insinuated that.
Right, it's not brain surgery. He's like getting a skin tag removed off his ball. Like they didn't touch his hair. He's wearing makeup, for God's sake.
So they shaved him down there?
Oh, they did shave him down there. That's what the that's what the surgery is. They got Dustin to do it.
I see skies
I still have a copy of Word 94.
blue.
Yep.
It still works.
My first version of Windows was Windows 3.11 for work groups.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. I miss the various versions of Windows, because you had Windows 3.1, 95. Did they have 97 or 98? 98. But then, like, my friend who was rich and not just, like, getting hand-me-downs computers from his dad's work, like, he had, like, Windows ME. And I was like, I was blown away. Now I see that it was a terrible idea to even entertain it, because it turned all of our classic, chunky, boxy garbage into, I mean, what we've got now, and it's not fun. I do miss Windows XP too, I struck. But, like, I don't know. As we progress as a society, it feels like we're doing things counterproductively, because most of my processing power of my computer now is going toward all of the animations and shit to make Windows look like a polished product, when I don't want that.
Right.
I don't want all of my computer resources to go to like smoothing edges and like animations for like menus and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where we are.
Here we are.
It's a bummer.
On the blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I say,
God, I loved highly pixelated images of like Walt, was it Mapplethorpe? What's his first name?
Angel-headed hipsters burning for the ancient heavenly connection.
I hear
What?
babies cry.
Such a crazy conglomeration of
Watch them
clips.
cry. They'll learn much
There you go,
more.
Robert Mapplethorpe. Thank you.
One day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
This is like the most conscientious person on the net in 1996. Everybody else is like searching like I was. You just put boobs into the search window.
What a one.
Fun fact, we saw Anne Frank there for a minute. Did you know Anne Frank actually mentions Popeye in her diary?
I don't doubt it. And I don't, like, that doesn't come as a surprise hearing it in your voice.
Yeah.
But, like, because what year did Popeye debut?
In newspapers, 29, in animation, 33.
Yeah, so that's tons of time for it to proliferate the globe. So, yeah, I totally get it. But isn't that weird? Because, like, it would be like finding somebody's, like, some child's diary from, like, Desert Storm and having them be like, Michelangelo's my favorite. And obviously that's wrong. But, like, it's man, because like pop culture is always there and always current, but it only seems like to carry some sort of austerity or weight in the future. Because like I'm sure in like 2075, if someone were to find an old diary like those exist on paper somewhere, and they mention the Ninja Turtles, and they go, "Oh, how quaint." But right now, it just feels like, shut up, you try hard. But like, yeah, I'm sure when she was like watching and or reading Popeye, that's wild.
Mikey is FDO's favorite. Mikey used to be David's favorite too.
Why do you think that?
Because way back in the day, it was, and then it was Raphael.
It was never Mikey. It was always, always, always Raphael. Whose history is this? Here's the thing. My wife thinks I like Michelangelo. So I have got this Michelangelo figure. I've got a Michelangelo Volkswagen Bug. I've got 70 pieces of Michelangelo related action figures and stuff. Least favorite turtle. Just kidding. Sorry. Donatello's my least favorite. It goes Donnie, Mikey, Leo, Raph. Somehow in Krista's head, I was a huge Mikey fan. Never was. Never was. My best friend at the time was a Mikey fan. And guys, not for nothing, but do you remember that classic TMNT, like within the first season or two, where Leo slices through that, like the traffic signal, and it hits Rocksteady on the head, and one of his eyes goes red, and the other one goes yellow, and he goes, ugh. We always connected on that moment, me and my friend. I can't even remember his fucking name. But I would go, whoa, and he would do the same thing. We go, oh, it's our two colors, because one eye was red and the other one was yellow, but it looked orange. And he was Mikey and I was Raph. It's crazy. I mean, Mike, don't get me wrong. I appreciate Mikey. He's got all the things that I would like to be, but I'm not. That's why I like Raph, because he's an angry dude who doesn't think about stuff before he does it.
Wonderful world.
Now, some of the news headlines from the digital world this past week.
That's what every dad looked like in the 90s.
I was going to say, his outfit looks kind of odd.
Like, that looks like my dad in the 90s.
All agreed to a common NC technical standard.
How do you think Netscape is doing? Still good?
Compatibility shouldn't be a problem. The network computer is for those who want word processing, email, and internet access without a PC price. They'll sell for about $500 because unlike a PC...
Oh my God, anti-gay rights amendment voided? How long have we been fighting against the gay people? Just let them be. Jesus. You know, Clinton was fighting for him back in the day. Tony, where are you?
The NC has no disk space.
He'll be
Instead,
here Friday.
users access
disk
software
space.
and documents on a remote network computer. Acorn, Olivetti, and IBM are among 15 companies announcing this
I miss seeing photos load, like pixel by pixel. God damn.
Buy It, Try It, Skip It is brought to you by Network MCI.
It's time now for Buy It, Try It, or Skip It. That is the method of review that John C. Dvorak uses. He is our multimedia...
He's our computer Andy Rooney. He's going to complain about the price of fruit next.
Guru here at CNET. He's going to tell you whether is top-notch or
That is very
terrible.
long.
Terrible, usually.
Oh, not
And by
take
the way,
that.
I am the guru.
You are. You are. Now, what do you think of this one, Guru?
Actually, this is quite interesting. It's got a
don't know
weird
what it
title,
is.
Four Paws of Crab, but it's quite the CD-ROM.
Oh, here's one that's called Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, and it gets pretty spicy if you like nudity. I know some of you do.
Artistic interactive cookbook meets compelling travelogue. The recipes are the foundation of the CD-ROM, complete with correct Thai pronunciation, video.
Anthony Bourdain, before Anthony Bourdain.
Seriously, I don't understand, like, because, like, radio existed for so long that I feel like everybody on planet Earth should know, like, you need a pop filter, you need something to keep the plosives happening, and also, like, something with a decent amount of range. And I understand that computers being as they are, they're not going to get, like, the full range of your vocal intonation, but pop filters like this, it's a piece of foam that exists always. What happened in the 90s? It was like... fucking annoying, these people. Just get a windscreen. That's all I'm saying. I do like though that everybody, because this predates voice acting also. But again, we had radio and we also had cartoons, so I feel like this should have been a layup. Find someone with any experience whatsoever to read these things, not just like horse kick head dad from Vietnam to be like fucking guy. Duh, throw me the ball, son.
Video looks like the video killed.
He's one of my favorite characters.
Then video killed the radio star. A picture came and broke your heart. We can't rewind.
Yeah, we've gone too far. But like that's the thing. It's like when the concept of the screw came about in like 1400, let's say. The screwdriver came along 200 years later.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, well, what the fuck, dudes?
Video demonstrations, you can kind of forget those are not that helpful. And a print feature, thank God. Who's got computers in the kitchen? The Happy Market is a guidebook to the exotic ingredients and equipment of Thailand.
Maybe you should have clipped out the part where you're like, oh, the videos are fucking worthless, because...
Anyway.
Need a timeout from cooking? Take a time romp. It's a look at the comparative political histories of Thailand and the U.S. But the section Mirrors is the real soul of the CD-ROM. Meet Nora, who documents her travels through Thailand and shares her experiences and thoughts on Thai culture and cuisine.
You suck Coca-Cola from a plastic bag.
Meet Nora as she goes on her eat, pray, love trip around the world.
Yes. Sipping Coke from a plastic bag. In my mind, it feels like a Safeway bag that's like open and there's like a long straw and then she's just walking around like a purse.
Is it in Canada or something? They used to have bags of milk.
They probably still do.
Yeah, Canada.
I've been to Canada and I never saw a bag of milk. But full disclosure, I've been to 2 places in Canada and I feel like it's Newfoundland that does the bag milk thing.
Oh.
I don't know. Canada's a weird place.
They got box wine and it's just a bag inside a box. So everything can be in a bag.
It's totally different though. Like you wouldn't... I don't know. Whatever. I don't know why humans do the things they do, because it all has to do with like the culture and the history of the place, and no one wants to think outside of the bag, apparently, in Canada. But I wonder if Matt does this, because he lived in I don't want to say Thailand. I'm probably wrong. Vietnam.
Yeah.
Sorry, wrong country.
Bag and eat dead silkworms.
4 Paws of Crab sells for $44.95 and is available on the PC and the Mac. I say it's a buy it. It's not bad. They've done more than just throwing a CD-ROM or throwing a cookbook on a CD-ROM. It's very entertaining.
It's a whole thing.
I love this guy's charisma. He cannot look away from his hands. He feels like Ricky Bobby, but like he doesn't know what to do with his eyes.
Liked it.
I'd like to eat all the food on there. It made me so hungry watching that.
Thai food later.
Did it? You're buying.
Yeah, right.
The next title is called Peter's Numbers Adventures. Now, what is this one about?
Did anyone else feel the sexual tension between these two, or is it just me?
No, I'm getting it. Like a hot African-American 20-something with like this stodgy old like Dijon, like Grey Poupon motherfucker. I get it. Yeah. It's like Catherine Reed.
They're just waiting for the cameras to go off so they can bang.
Yeah, the horrible, disgusting squishing sounds that stopped as soon as they called cut. But it definitely feels like a John Dudinsky, Catherine Reed situation where they absolutely hate each other, but because their jobs are what they are, they have to interact. Not for nothing, Ryan, but like, I know you are constantly shipping Catherine Reed and John Dudinsky, but like the get the fuck out of here, bitch vibes that he puts off are like in the gigahertz when she walks into that Dustin McFetridge thing, like with that bag of Skittles. He's just like, nope, bye, bitch. Okay, anyway. So, you want a shaver down there?
It's a kid's game, and it's not bad. Here's Peter, your child's new computer pal.
Come, explore with me.
Peter is your guide through 10 imaginary islands of numbers. Each island is filled with colorful animations and learning activities, along with whimsical games like this cauldron, where you follow the magic potion and poof, you create a surprise.
Yikes.
What sets this
But then Pajama Sam came along and kicked Peter's dick into the dirt.
Pajama Sam.
product apart is its multilingual
Forget Pajama Sam. Forget Peter. It's all about putt-putt.
Mm-hmm.
Putt-putt's a different genre, though. Like, you can't... Maybe it isn't. I just feel like since he's a car, like the whole dynamics... I don't know. You want to talk about cars a little bit, Ryan?
Talk about cars.
Let's talk about cars. That's one of those things where, like... it's a completely different trajectory. Like, Peter and Sam, I can see working hand in hand. The Cars universe leaves so much that I have so many questions because cars and roads were built around the interactions with the humans that got into them and drove around on them. When you remove the humans and you've just got a bunch of, in my head canon, metallic car shells that are filled with a hermetically sealed bubble for that slug alien creature that lives and activates the eyes, you feel like, well, where the fuck? Yeah, the Porsche has a tramp stamp.
Yeah.
Ooh, a little pinstriping. Lightning says, she goes, oh, you saw that?
Back there?
How did he not? Your fin was up. Your spoiler was up. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, and
they have handles. They have door handles. They have, like... I don't know, it's a deeply confusing and scary universe because, like in Cars 3, when Cruz takes all of Lightning's wheels off and puts him in a room to meditate, like...
Oh, yeah.
Imagine if someone could just take your arms and legs off and throw you in a room and be like, back in a bit.
And, like, not only that, but, like, yeah, they don't have feeling in them because when his tires pop, doesn't hurt him.
Right. Where is... Because they will... You know, they say, ow, when stuff happens. They'll react to physical stimuli, but where do those mechanical nerve endings begin and end, Ryan?
And when he runs out of gas in the first one, how is he still moving?
Shouldn't he know? They drink oil like it is a food source, but the gas still goes into the tank and like... I just don't get it. Like,
and you're mixing Fillmore's and Sarge's gas together. How is that good for your engine?
Like fucking what's his nuts? when Lightning's on, you know, that track out by Willie's Butte and Doc Hudson comes out and he's like, oh, you know, go grab yourself a quart of oil that flows. And he's like, I've been feeling a quart low. Like, is oil just something that they use consumable wise? Because they don't have buttholes. Where's it going? Where does the oil go? If it goes into the mouth, there should be a car butthole.
Well, they have tailpipes, right?
Right, but like, if you're going to drink something, that implies, like, chemical digestion, not mechanical. So does the oil feed the slug monster in the car? And the gas runs the engine? Because that's the thing. In the world of cars, you can be alive without your engine on. Because when Doc Hudson and Lightning get together for that race to be like, hey, you beat me, you can fucking leave, they go, start your engines. And they both start their engines. And Doc, when his engine starts, it feels like it hasn't been started in a long time. So if the engine isn't keeping them alive, they have no feeling in their rims and tires, what the fuck are we doing here?
Right.
It's not about cars. It's about the 90s.
No, we're talking about cars now.
The Berenstain Bears books. After the original creator died, their son took over, and he does this 6 sub-series of Berenstain Bear books that are all Christian. And there are no humans in the Berenstain Bears world, so is there like a bear Jesus? That just blows my mind.
Berenstain.
Baron Skidmark is what I call him. Whatever. Yeah, you're right. Because that's the thing. I wanted to bring up Lovecraft earlier, but I was like, no, I talk about Lovecraft a lot. But, like, that's the kind of thing that August Derleth did to Lovecraft after he died. Like, August was a hack, and Lovecraft was, you know, for all of his faults, a really good horror writer. But when he died, August Derleth is like, you know what, let's get rid of the cosmic horror, let's get rid of the infinity of the universe and the inky black void, and just throw a bunch of Jesus allegories in there. Which is the antithesis. I don't know. How do we get off on this tangent?
Let's talk about cars again.
Peter speaks 4 languages.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Peter.
And the games are even culturally correct. For instance,
Now he's ripping off Muzzy.
Americans
Je suis la Juvie, right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Count forefinger first.
These children aren't French. They're American.
They're American.
Europeans count thumb first.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Finger number 3 really surprised me.
Le majeur porte ses bagages.
Peter's Numbers Adventure sells for $49.95 and is available on the PC and Mac. I really like, except for that finger.
I also count
really
with my
like
thumbs
this.
first. Yeah.
I'm okay with either the pointing finger or the thumb. If you start on the pinky, we're going to have issues.
The CD-ROM, a lot. But we were giving it a try because some of the staffers thought it was a little lame in parts.
Okay. Well, tell me what you think about this one.
But full disclosure, I'm not a 7-year-old boy, so look at his hands. He's like, yeah, he wants to reach out and grab her so badly.
Are we just watching like a whole news thing
Yeah,
about?
so this is CNET with commercials.
You know, there's a computer word.
What?
Bites.
Oh.
Take a bite out of you, lady.
Bernard of Hollywood's Maryland is based on the book of the same name. It's the exclusive portfolio of photographer Bruno Bernard, who...
That's a pet peeve of mine. Guys, there's one R in photographer, and it's at the end. It's not photography. It's not photography. Photography. Stop adding the extra R. Thank
who
you.
supposedly discovered Marilyn, well, when she was Norma Jean back then. There are more than 100 photos, some with useless pop-up descriptions. Oh, beauty contest. Tell me something that I...
Like pop-up video was a useless show? What's this guy's name? He's a fucking idiot.
didn't know. You can explore the various stages of Marilyn's life, from Norma Jean and the birth of Marilyn all the way through Renaissance and the legacy.
Of course, like with Betty Page, we're going to whitewash all the horrifying sexual abuse that they had to suffer through. Holy fuck. Like, whatever. I mean, that's one of those things. Like, Ryan, are you at least aware of that, like, Nickelodeon documentary, Quiet on the Set?
Right.
Did we lose you?
Right.
Bueller?
Bort?
Oh, he had to step out. But yeah, this definitely feels like, because I remember, you know, Hollywood is always going to be Hollywood, but like as recently as that documentary where they were like, Drake Bell is like, yeah, I was being fucked with, and like Miranda not Miranda Cosgrove, but the other one, the blonde one. Like, all these people coming out being like, yeah, it was a horrible fucking exploitative thing. And it always has been. Because I remember listening to, like, a Betty Page interview where, like, she was forced to blow, like, 4 dudes in a car.
What?
Yeah. Like, but that's just the way it was, like, back then. So I shudder to think at all the horrifying things, like, someone as big as even Marilyn Monroe was forced to do.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
To, like, be popular or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucked.
To get to where she got.
Text describes Marilyn's life along with spoken excerpts from Bruno's private journal.
Rumors mushrooming in Hollywood concerning Marilyn's death.
And trivia facts.
Why is it narrated by Werner von Braun?
Did you know that Marilyn was paid $50 for that nude calendar? Don't get excited, the calendar is not included. How about Marilyn's timeline? Count the number of
Well, then why am I going to buy the fucking
marriages or reference the complete glossary of her 29 films. And finally, there are newsreel clips. Remember this?
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Even if you don't, it's been pastiche so many times. Like, It's like Citizen Kane. If you've seen the episode of The Simpsons or Family Guy or whatever, I feel like I've seen the entire movie of Citizen Kane without having seen a single second.
Right.
Marilyn Monroe sings Happy Birthday to JFK.
This guy is the
This
worst
must
at
be
reading
the
a prompter.
all-time low point in American politics.
Maybe someday you'll see, who was it? Was it Jim Carrey who did the Happy Birthday, Mr. President
There's
thing?
a hybrid disc, which works both on the PC and the Mac. I
Hybrid.
say skip it. Exploitation of a dead woman.
It.
And you know what? $69.95. It costs 69 cents to make one of those discs. I'm giving away a secret. 69 cents. They're selling this for $69. Come.
But here's the thing, Guy. You're as stupid as I was when I was a kid. Because when CDs came out, cassettes were moving out of the realm of, like, pop culture. I go, CDs are so cheap to make. But here's the thing, fucktard. Like, everybody who worked to put the music onto the disc, that's who you're paying.
Right.
You're not, like... Because I, as a kid, being stupid, would go like, these CDs cost pennies to make. Why are they $20 for a TLC album? Because you have to pay producers and mixers and editors and PR dudes and the band themselves. So that's why it's expensive, dipshit.
Right. And to say skip it, these...
Waterfalls.
Say what? Oh, what?
I said, then you have to go chase all the waterfalls.
Oh yeah. I thought you were saying face waterfalls. I thought we were going to get into a face off here for a second. But yeah, you got to chase all those goddamn waterfalls. But you shouldn't, because they told you not to.
But like he says, skip this one because it costs 69 cents to make a CD. But the last two, he's like, yeah, you totally pay $50 for this
I would pay
encyclopedia.
$50 for a Peter, but not $60 for a Marilyn. I mean, I'm sure if they included the nude calendar, he'd be all horned up and be like, bye.
Do it.
So horny right now.
Come on. An all-time low point in American Watergate, you know.
I think this was worse.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your reviews this week. If you'd like to check out...
Thanks, Andy Rooney Light. All the great taste of Andy Rooney with 1 calorie.
all of John's reviews, you can on CNET Online. Just go in and click on...
Do me one favor. Never make me think of the taste of Andy Rooney ever again.
I want you to keep that with you wherever you go. Like, I've got that lady cutting a hole in a diaper for a monkey. I want you to imagine what Andy Rooney tastes like. It's like kissing a peanut. It's like Hans Moleman. It's like kissing a peanut. Mwah. Yeah, and that's what Andy Rooney tastes like. Don't think of it as dirty. Maybe a prune, more than likely a peanut.
And click on...
You remember on Bob's Burgers? Louise gets in a fight with the old guy that runs the art supply store, and they're like, "You smell like ointment and pee. You smell like ointment and pee."
That's not a lie either. I worked in an assisted living facility for the old, and that's what they all smell like, man. Once you get, that's one thing. As I get older, the one thing I'm scared about is like the smells that will be coming off of and out of my body as I age, and I've got to stay on that. Like the cutting edge, man. Some people just go, well, I'm old and I'm going to smell like shit from now on. I don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
Yikes. Like,
I don't want you to be that person either.
What is up? Why do old people's breath smell so bad? Like, do they stop selling gum to old people? Like, once you hit 60, they go, no more Wrigley's.
Yeah. Right. The old people smell so strange, like cologne sprayed on mothballs. Like,
seriously.
What age do you hit where you're like, you know what? I'm just going to get a box of mothballs and just hang it out in the house.
Still exist. We saw a box of them in the grocery store. Like, we just got a building for our brewery, right? There was a single box of mothballs in it.
Just hanging out.
God knows when it was put there, but it fucking still smells like it. And I threw that shit away weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like...
And it was an old guy that was doing taxes.
He was 90 years old. And like... Are the mothballs really for the moths?
The eponymous...
Say what?
Huh?
I was going to say, was that the eponymous Stan of Stan's Pickle House?
Yeah, it was. Stan's Coleman Pickle House.
Yeah.
And like, because that's the thing. When I was walking through, like we're doing the walkthrough, right? And all of the shit is still there. All the desks and the pickle jars are there. All the tax forms. I go, God damn. Because I didn't know that he had a box of mothballs squirreled away somewhere. I didn't find it until later. But I go, is the mothball scent just like the scent that old people emit and they get it like out of solidarity?
Right.
Like, you already smell like it, so buy the balls? But then I found the box. Like, get the fuck out of here. And then again, like, they all look like lemon heads that you suck the lemon off of. And like, I've never ever seen mothballs outside of a mothball box. All the old people in my life who I've ever known who bought mothballs, it's like baking soda in your fridge. You just open it a little bit and you close your eyes and you throw it into a room and then wait for your children to complain about it until you die. And then they complain about it and you can't hear about it because you're dead.
I've never seen even a box of mothballs. I always just smelled them. I just never knew where they existed.
I swear to God, the design, language, and art of a mothball box hasn't changed since its inception.
I'm sure.
It's like the first wheel.
Why?
is as round as a modern day wheel.
You
and
don't
that's
change perfection.
You can't mess with perfection. They go, hey, moths eating all of your clothes? And again, I've never seen a moth or a caterpillar on a piece of clothing. What are these fucking old people so worried about?
Have you seen them on a mothball?
No, because that's the antithesis. It's like, have you ever seen a roach buying a can of Raid? It'll never happen.
Central television, and you're there.
You don't want to run afoul of big mothball.
The top 100.
I know, the deep pockets. Probably. There are some products out there that I can't believe still exist, but when you look into it, it's like still a multi-million-dollar industry, like canned sardines. Like, it's not the Depression anymore. No one is having to pinch pennies to find protein in any way, form, or fashion, but canned anchovies and sardines still exist, and people eat them recreationally. Right. FDO, your dad's weird!
Hundreds.
You know, the seasoned business traveler would not be surprised to hear that.
Oh, squirrels hate mothballs too? They call them squirrel balls.
Squirrel balls.
Feel weird.
This summer is the busiest in 50 years for airlines. With all the competing fare structures and the seats so crowded to begin with, you almost need a computer to help you figure out what to do.
The seats
and
are
in
crowded?
fact, many of us are beginning.
Oh, great. My seat was double booked, and I got to fly to Wisconsin with someone in my lap.
Summertime.
Keep his nuts dry. Oh, damn it, you got it.
Is easy.
Yeah.
By air, by car, or by other means, more than 230 million of us will take it easy this summer by taking off. And
Yeah, Ryan and I booked a double hang gliding tour. We're going to be hang gliding from Chicago to L.A. It's going to take 17 years.
Yeah.
But you know what? It was a Groupon.
I'm looking forward to it, honestly.
Yeah, I get to be the big spoon, though. I'm not going to fucking little spoon my ass all the way to L.A. from Chicago. I'm too tall for that shit.
No, we'll trade places over Kansas.
For a little bit, but my body type is constantly big spooning.
And that is in the great indoors.
There we go. South America. Put down 5. Put down Asia 15.
Jim Hornthal is president of Preview Vacations, an online travel service offered through America Online. He says today personal computers provide the average person access to information that used to be reserved for travel agents.
You can look at hotel rooms and grounds. You can understand what's included or not in various packages.
Would-be
If Ryan's 7 feet, that's the thing. I'm not saying I want to be the big spoon because of some machismo or some show of masculinity or force. It's just if you have a teaspoon and a soup spoon, they fit together ergonomically only one way.
Yeah. I can't be big spoon.
Like, Ryan and I are sexual partners. We'll switch spoon positions. But until that happens, I am going to be big spoon.
Vacationers checking into this site can find discount travel packages and even bid on
Oh,
their
I rented a Chrysler Town and Country for the weekend, honey.
even major.
Talking about industries that shouldn't exist anymore, how are travel agencies still in business?
It's the same demographic of the people who buy checks. Until every old person born before 1960 dies, we'll have paper checks and travel agents.
No, I disagree. I think travel agents are slowly turning into cruise agents and Disney agents because all those fucking adult Disney fanatics are also becoming like travel agents and will literally give you a itinerary.
It feels different to me. It feels like a travel agent was a thing that existed because someone wanted to help. Like, there wasn't a service for that. The disgusting idea of a Disney adult turning into like a Disney travel agent is like a scumfuck stealing childhood memories from children to give to other unworthy adults.
Sure. I think the travel agent person itself, like that will book your hotel and car for you, is turning into that kind of
but
thing.
It's more of a niche market. Like the travel agent is a catch-all. It's like rice. It's something that can feed everybody.
Right.
But a Disney travel agent or Disney adult is like saffron. It's used very specifically for a very specific event.
That and cruise ones too, because
same thing.
Yeah.
Like it's not. It's taking something very broad and making it hyper-specific for a very weird niche audience that today, with the proliferation of the internet, any hobby can be a worldwide phenomenon because, like, no matter what you do, whether it be philately or you're a Disney adult or you're fucking, I don't know, you really love kites or something, you can go online and find 10,000 other people. Say what, Ryan?
I said, or Popeye.
Yeah, or Popeye.
Yeah, right.
I was going to say that, but I didn't want to, like, take a dig at you. But, like, Popeye or, like, any other niche thing that is not a pop cultural tent pole.
Yeah.
You can find someone out there. Like, when my first bike was a Buell Blast, a 50cc motorcycle. It's trash. It's garbage. It's an entry-level bike that I outgrew as soon as I revved the throttle.
Yeah.
But I did find a bunch of weird sycophants who, like, lived for the Buell Blast. And I go, how does that exist? It's like furries. You go, you guys all want to have sex with animals? I can't believe that. But they exist.
Major travel is outside and Condé Nast have an online component now. Click on this activities icon to find out about the latest outdoor adventure. If your tastes run to the extreme, try the great...
Right, so maybe that's why I was thinking of the kites, FDO. I remember you giving me that reference a couple shows, but last show.
Outdoors recreation page.
Hey, good old raisins and peanuts.
Love it.
I fucking said Gorp 10 years ago.
Suicide in paradise.
Say what?
I said, if you want to commit suicide in paradise.
I'm saying, just jump off. But I said Gorp 10 years ago in reference to trail mix, and I got years of shit for that. And I didn't make it up. Good old raisins and peanuts is like the trail mix for the picky. Jesus Christ.
Trust Gillix. Baked salmon brought me here. Welcome.
Trust Kill X, I would say.
Oh, sorry.
Trust Skillix? Are you an EDM DJ?
Look,
I'll take your
small.
comment.
I probably need glasses.
Don't talk about my penis like that.
They also
I got the biggest URL you've ever seen.
So big.
Provide handy links to other outdoor home pages to make your online traveling easier as well.
Going to the Himalayas?
One of the more ambitious efforts recently is Travel Web. Looking for a hotel in Guadalajara?
No.
How about a lodge in the Florida Keys?
Maybe.
Travel Web enables you to make reservations yourself or leave a message for a travel agent in the area of your interest.
Here's a shark.
A shark.
As with any other kind of travel, watch out for sharks. If you're using a credit card, make sure the online service you're using is a secure place for transactions.
And for the old people out there, watch out for reverse mortgages, because what the fuck? Like,
Henry Winkler will lie to you.
Well, now he's talking about, oh God, what's that commercial? He's like running around in a Mr. Rogers sweater talking about like eye problems now. Have you seen this commercial, Ryan?
Oh, with the
I have.
macular degeneration or the GA. Fucking yeah.
What the fuck, guys?
That's a strange commercial.
Wait, it's called GA, and they have Henry Winkler.
Yeah.
I think it's GA.
So
yeah.
Does he say GA?
No, he's like,
what a missed opportunity.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Imagine being like the coolest person ever on TV, right? And now you're like in a Mr. Rogers sweater being like, yep, my dad had macular degeneration. And I realized that GA stands for two obscenely long URL style names. I ain't gonna
seriously.
say that shit.
And he doesn't say that, he just calls it GA. And
they have to like subtitle him during the commercial.
Yeah. And they're like, GA stands for whatever. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but it's basically like vision problems where you can't see at night and there's blurry in front of you or like things look wavy lines. And it's like if you have this and you catch it, like it's not something that you can even cure. It's like if you catch it early, tell your doctor and just live with it.
Right. It's like not Michael Jackson, like Magic Johnson's AIDS. If you catch it early enough and you're rich as fuck, it won't bother you, I imagine. I'll give you a golf clap for that one, FDO.
And watch out for these. Summer means construction on the web, too. So you'll find many travel sites here to be a work in progress. From home exchanges in Switzerland to advice for the business traveler, there's a travel agent as near as your desktop.
My mom used travel agents way
That's a Fleischer cartoon.
back in the day.
Yeah, everybody did.
Yeah, I saw that. I was just about to say.
People and technology that can capture new customers, answer questions, and process orders 24 hours a day. And it's not just for the rich, the powerful, or the
look at that. Holy shit. God damn it. Now the references escape.
Slow me down.
Okay, what was the name of the wish-granting machine in Big? It starts with a Z, and my mind... What was it? Zoltar. I don't know why I was thinking Zardoz, but that's definitely not the right thing.
No.
the daring. Because there's a way
you
you
can
can get the hell
Zordon from Power Rangers.
Yeah, Zordon too.
Service to create
You ever seen Zardoz? Jesus Christ, what a fucking nightmare.
your call center. All you have to know is how. Network MCI. That's how.
Get a computer.
I just want to say, like, of all the videos, random commercial videos you could have picked to stream with me, somehow it still had a Popeye in it. That's just wonderful.
Yep.
Like, at this point, were those cartoons public domain in the 90s?
No, but those were the made-for-TV cartoons from King Features that I talked about, and they were cheaper to license than the theatrical cartoons because Ted Turner owned those at the time.
Yeah. Like,
and
maybe that's the thing, too, is like now
so
that...
rather than pay Ted Turner, you can...
Oh, for sure. Like, I'm sure, like, most of the... even, whatever, today it's probably free, but back in the day, they're like, oh, we want to use, like, 8 seconds of Popeye, and they'd be like, 48 cents, please.
It's like when Rich Evans saw the Showbiz Pizza Bear while wearing his birthday shirt.
Right. That's like a confluence of so many things coming together. We got the Popeye expert, and we've got Fleischer cartoons, and then Popeye himself shows up. P.S. too, I was going to bring this up, but this is wildly off topic, but semi-friend of the show, Popeye Vogelsang from Farside, like, look into that shit. I still haven't got him to do the Popeye impression for me. It's on my bucket list, though.
Yeah.
That's how.
You might have a contest.
Say what?
Are they going to have a contest? I wonder how well. I don't think he could probably. I mean,
I'm sure he still can because, like, you don't like. He got the nickname Popeye because he did the Popeye impression so well. Like, his real name was Michael.
Yeah.
They don't get called Popeye for 50 years because you're shit at it.
Right.
So maybe I'll put that together, Ryan. And winner takes all. Oh, FDO. Forgot to put your name up here. P.S. I'm sorry.
David didn't remind me.
When you buy a computer factory direct from Gateway 2000, our tech experts are there for you around the clock. What keeps them going?
I had a Gateway computer.
Did Gateway have the cow print?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. But Gateway still exists. I just talked a Gateway laptop at Target the other day. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
There are so few that made it through. Like, I feel like every computer back in the 90s, like, you'd say, what kind of computer you have? And you would say, like, I have an HP or a Dell or a Gateway or whatever. Now, if you ask that, like 9.5 times out of 10, it's something the person you're talking to built because it's so easy to, like, build.
It's like, oh, I got an Asus blah, blah, blah with whatever fucking like gamer card.
Flip of a coin. You're going to have someone, like, who buys the all-in-one, like, Asus or, like, the thing I'm on right now is a B-Link mini PC. And, like...
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, the it's one of those things like travel agents probably. Like, as long as old people or disinterested people exist, they'll be like, oh, it's an all-in-one package. Because, like, maybe that's it. As long as laziness exists, some things will never die.
Yeah. I mean, as long as, like, stay-at-home moms exist, you can be a travel agent.
I mean, I guess, but, like, a stay-at-home mom would know, like, how to work Travelocity or Orbitz or whatever.
Yeah, but they can exploit being a travel agent for other people.
Right, but then you run into the same problem of, like, every fucking housewife is a notary, and they're all, like, slitting each other's throats to make $10 off of some son of a bitch.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
I used to play so much pinball on my Gateway.
What's up, Ryan?
Go ahead.
No, that was it.
I was going to say, as long as... Oh, go ahead.
It's all we got, Ryan. It's all you.
I was just going to say, as long as as long as stay-at-home moms exist, multi-level marketing scams will still exist.
Yes, right. I did one of those.
As long as there are bored housewives / husbands now in the modern era, there'll always be multi-level marketing, notaries, real estate agents, and every other fucking lazy thing that like you think you can make a lot of money on, but when you realize that everybody in your friend group is one already, like you're ready to shank someone in the liver to make $10 off of someone who needs a stamp.
Right. And FDO is right. As long as stay-at-home moms exist, there will be soap operas. That's why Young and the Restless has been going for 50 years. Yeah.
Like, not only them, dude. Like, talking about dating, here's the thing. I dated a girl. She was a college student, right? She was going to ASU and lived in the dorms. I would go over to visit her in the dorms, of which she was a resident because she was, again, a college-age person. And I was subject to so many fucking soap operas with these people.
I used to watch them in high school. I watched a Spanish one, too, for Spanish class. I used to watch it. I can't remember what it was called.
But that feels like it was for a reason. Like you had gotten an assignment. But these people were just like, yeah, I'm watching One Life to Live. I watched an episode of one of these things where, like, there was a witch who called forth like a flurry of butterflies to go do her bidding, and there was a little girl who could talk to a ghost, and I go, is this a soap opera?
I used to watch One Life to Live way back in the day.
Like, it's a step below like procedurals like House, where like every episode's the same except you swap whatever
like ER.
disease.
I used to watch ER.
Right.
That's not a soap opera, but like...
That's what I'm saying. Like, there are some that like take the formulaic comfort food thing and just strip away like House is going to a soul food restaurant and getting fried chicken and collard greens and waffles and like everything that you think like is a feel good food in that genre, whereas like soap operas are like they take the chicken, they take the waffles, and you have a big plate of unsalted collard greens, and I watch these fucking idiots shovel it into their face and I go, why?
Yeah.
Why, Steven? I'd say.
Why? And answer your question, Ryan, it was pharmacy that I used to do. It was makeup. And I wanted to do LuLaRoe, but then that went to shit real fast watching all the things go downhill from there. But I did buy a lot of them.
LuLaRoe is one of those things like I couldn't believe it happened and worked so well. Like,
yeah.
I said this aloud multiple times because literally every female person that Krista knew was selling LuLaRoe. And I go, how terrible is the woman's clothing market where like it's like I still have LuLaRoe in my collection. I've got LuLaRoe shirts that you'll maybe see me wear one day. But they worked for a little while. Like it was quality clothing. And I think that's what women wanted.
It was yes.
I don't know why you guys can't have normal pockets, but we'll tackle that issue another day, apparently.
Normal as in bigger or what?
Normal as in like you can put more than 75 cents in your fucking pocket. Like how many dudes have had to hold their girl's phone as they do this, that, or the other because their pockets are basically for show?
Look, I blame the phone companies for making them so big. Anyway, but yeah, LuLaRoe is great. I'm glad I didn't invest in selling it because of the amount of people that sold it.
Because everybody became a notary public.
Yeah.
And everybody was a LuLaRoe rep and had a garage full of shit that nobody else wanted.
Correct.
Yeah, FDO, you and me, we're so alike on so many things, except for your fucking weird Donnie and Mikey fixation.
4 hours when I fix their problems. Guys that I don't even know will just come out and say, I love you, Gretchen. I'm married. At least I know I still got it.
Gateway Computers.
As long as they can't see me. Hello.
Yeah.
I love you, Gretchen.
Wait, what?
Yeah, she's a phone rep.
For Gateway Computers.
Yeah, no, she's like, I'm married. Tee, like, hello. Not everybody was me and into fat people in the 90s. Like, get over yourself, Gretchen. You work at a computer fucking call center.
Your speech with the Pentium processor.
I wonder where Gretchen is right now.
Get 'em is 1-800 Gateway. You've got a friend in the business. Give us a call.
Yeah, I understand. I know Donnie does machines. Mikey's the party dude. Raphael was cool but rude. And that's the thing. When you have that, that angst as a kid, Leonardo, yeah, we all know this song, man.
See, I like Leo.
Who wrote that song?
Who? Popeye?
Chuck Lorre.
Really?
Yeah.
Weird. But on a similar but tangential topic, the TMNT song by Partners in Crime, they call Raph the leader for some reason, which I get. He's definitely the stronger personality, but it's Leo.
Yes.
But they say, Raphael, he's the leader of the group transformed from the norm by the nuclear goop. It's not. He's not the leader. It's a lie.
He's just louder.
Partners in Crime is bullshit. Though I like that song.
I like Leo. I think Leo is probably my favorite. And I know it's, like David's like least.
Because he's a non-entity. He's like the leader, which means he has no specific personality traits aside from like telling Raph to stop doing the things that he does. Like without Raph, Leo is nothing. But Raph is such a compelling character. It's like Cyrax and Music Biz Marty. But we all see that Cyrax is the Raph while Music Biz Marty is the Leo. Because the one is bringing all the fury and the other one is just like, hey.
Is that like, so like, because you like Raph and I like Leo, does that mean I'm like nothing without you?
No, because we don't have a Raph and Leo dynamic. That's a completely, like the Raph and Leo work so well because they're at odds, where Leo is the traditional, upright, stalwart, like traditional one, whereas Raph is like the counterculture member of the group because he wants to rebel. He doesn't see the need for a leader, but that's the thing. He's not self-aware enough to realize he needs it, except for when the plot calls for it.
Right.
Like Raph won't give Leo credit until his ass gets kicked so thoroughly he's got to sleep in a bathtub for a week.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's our dynamic.
I think you two have more of like
no, go for it.
I was going to say, I think you two have more of like an April O'Neil, Irma kind of dynamic.
Irma? Not even like an April and Casey? Who's Irma? Who's Irma, Ryan?
Who's Irma?
Which of us is Irma?
I remember she worked at the TV station.
No, I'm not saying who's Irma. I know who fucking Irma is. Well, Krista doesn't, obviously. I'm a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan. So which one of us, me or Krista, is Irma? Like, you want to make her fucking, God. Wait, who? Krista's Irma, right?
Yeah, sure.
There you go. Thank you.
I don't know who Irma is.
Or what's the guy? I can't pull his name.
The
guy,
cameraman?
Oh, Vernon. Thank you. Yeah. If you want to say like an April Vernon situation, I mean, that doesn't apply. But like the April Irma thing, I kind of get, and April is me for sure. Got huge tits.
In the comics, Leonardo was the one who got beat up on the rooftop and slept in the tub.
Right. And maybe you'll know this, but maybe you won't. It was Michelangelo who has the darker arc in the movie, but they cut that. When Raph is up on the top of the barn going, Splinter! He's got nunchucks on his belt. It was Michelangelo who was supposed to have that dark turn, but they go, it's a little out of character.
Huh.
And it was, because we were light years from The Last Ronin. So I think it was a smart move to make Raph be the one with all the angst, because like...
But they should have changed his...
Well, no, because they would change nothing. They already shot the movie. It was in the 11th hour. They go, nah, Mikey wouldn't do this. Because like at the that pivotal moment where Mikey walks in when April and Casey are in the kitchen, right? And Mikey goes in and they go, hey, Mikey. Like they're reacting to him sort of rebounding from that emotional thing. Because like his first joke back to show like, hey, Mikey's back. He's like, he pulls out the turtle wax. And Donnie is Corey Feldman. Or no. Yeah, it was Raph who goes, what do you, Mikey? And he gives him a noogie. But I guess I agree with that wholeheartedly because Mikey shouldn't have been the one to have that like
weird
Dark Night of the Soul sort of thing. That was Raph's bag. Yeah, bingo. FDO gets it. It was like when it's thematically on point. When Mikey is sitting there waiting for the pizza and Donnie comes out to be like, hey, let's talk about some real like issues philosophically. You and me, Mikey. He goes, time's up, $3 off. Yeah, Mikey is crazy. I'm just saying. It's like, that's the thing. Mikey was the one who had the weird arc, and I'm glad they didn't do that, because it's not like Mikey. At least for the time.
If you'd like CNET's free weekly electronic newsletter, Digital Dispatch, send email to subscribe@cnet.com.
Somebody do that. See if you get a bounce back.
Reviews of CNET Central and CNET Online, as well as the inside word on breaking news in the digital world. It's easy to
You're going to get the mailer daemon to come and haunt your ass.
get, and it's free. Just send email to subscribe@cnet.com.
Say anything in the email you want.
Just got a whole lot easier. Introducing Corel All Movie Guide, the ultimate multimedia movie expert. Brought to you by the world leader in graphic software, Corel All Movie Guide.
I mean, FDO, let's devolve into a Turtles discussion for a minute. I don't know, man. I think that it would be too much of a conflict because, like, because, you know, whatever. Like, before they made the changes, like, it's Raph who comes in, kicks the door in after the Foot Clan and Shredder fuck up their sewer layer. It's Raph who goes in and sees what's going on because Raph had that connection with Splinter in the beginning where he goes, hey, you know, you got angered, you're always my son or whatever. And, like, Raph is crying. And so it makes sense for him to have that through line because he goes, you know, Raph wants to be his own thing. Splinter goes, hey, man, you're my kid and I love you, but you got to blah, blah, blah. Raph goes, ah, and the camera spins around. And that old guy, like, looks at I mean, we've seen the movie. To have at the 11th hour at the farmhouse, have Mikey go through that, it feels like too far of a shift because he spent the whole time. Like, Mikey is like every drummer I've ever known. He's happy-go-lucky and kind of like a puppy dog in human or turtle form.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I would have felt as a kid to see him on the roof being like, you know. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I feel like they made the right choice because they set it up in the first act. There would be too much of a shift. But if they knew and they were consciously planning for the concept of The Last Ronin, then maybe. But again, speculative fiction.
Movie Guide gives you interactive access to the most comprehensive movie database on
back.
It bounced back?
Look at the Discord.
Wait, say what?
He sent an email to subscribe@cnet.com and it bounced back.
I fucking knew it! The mailer daemon has claimed another victim.
Scenes, cast, and crew.
I can't believe it bounced back that quickly, though.
All movie lovers.
This is about the virtual office, about breaking the chains, stretching the boundaries, and making the world your workplace, about taking your business everywhere and anywhere, about pay.
Nothing says cutting edge technology like commercials, like cartoon footage from the 40s.
Yeah.
It's like it's cutting edge. And we see Popeye flexing his muscle and you go, that's technology?
Absolutely, motherfucker.
Descartes.
I think it's funny that every laptop that they have comes with like a wrist. You rest your wrist on something.
Not for nothing. I miss having that, like we just saw it. I miss having that button in the middle of the keyboard that was your mouse. I mean, it was a pain in the ass to use.
I think my Lenovo has that. My work computer, that new computer laptop that I had.
Like a button in the middle of the keyboard?
It might. I feel like it does.
I don't want to speculate here. This is ridiculous.
I feel like it might have that because when I opened it up and I was like, what the hell?
You feel like it might, even though you stare at it for 8 hours every day?
Well, I don't stare at my keyboard.
Right, but that's something you would go, whoa! I remember that distinctly. And you go, I feel like it might. It's 8 feet away.
This is about how one company can give you the help, hardware, and software to make your virtual office a reality. This is about how far you can go once you know how. Network MCI. That's how.
That's how. Big O.
Wow. More than 75% of all new internet users are logging on at work.
Well,
goal breaking, guys. That started way back in 1996. And now if you don't have internet on your work computer, you're a fucking dinosaur.
You get fired.
I definitely spend more time on Facebook while I'm at work than any other time.
Right.
Seriously.
And invites the entire audience to jam with them during the show. You call them the Cuckoo. And hey, this ain't no garage band.
Join the Techno Tribe,
Oh boy.
I'm scared.
He's an adult.
Yeah, not for nothing, but again, this feels a little bit like, for another Red Letter Media reference, it feels like Turtle Dreams.
Oh my god. Fucking Turtle Dreams.
Make the Dakuku go away.
Yeah, like, what the fuck? This is terrible.
Welcome to the world of Dakuku, where music, culture, and technology.
Welcome to the world of the Blue Man Group without makeup.
Right.
Yeah, or talent.
Or talent, yeah.
P.S. When is music devoid of culture? I feel like music is one of like the biggest cultural indicators. So it'd be like, hey, it's like we took peanut butter and put some more peanuts in it. Stop. More like stop. What, you doing a Tim Allen impersonation over there, Ryan?
Yeah.
Technology is the same language, and nothing is as it seems.
Candace, are you getting this now?
Yes. Candace Pacheco and Tina
Yikes.
Blaine, also known as Bean, are the founders of Dakuku.
God damn. When were berets more acceptable outside of the 90s?
But it was their techno savvy that allowed them to create their own instrument.
They're like the electronic Indigo Girls and all the implications thereof.
We wanted to create instruments that we could play music on that sounded unlike anything else
God,
that
the
was
shape
out
of
there
the
in the
side
world.
head.
So how did they do that?
Oh my God. And Dakuku is spelled D''C''U with an umlaut over it. Stop trying so hard, you fucking idiots.
It's the 90s, man.
MIDI, musical instrument digital interface.
Finally, I know what that means.
We don't exist.
She's not kidding. Take this Dakukarimba here. It looks like a marimba, right?
It's just neoprene rubber. You can buy it in sheets.
It's basically a series of electronic triggers. You hit a pad and it sends a signal, but through the digital wonder of MIDI, that signal can sound like anything you want.
Is this the first time they had electronic drums? I feel like the 80s had already happened at this point. We should be aware of, like, hello, the 80s have happened, idiots. Someone look up and see if we can find some Dakuku music.
Defuse the ticking time bomb.
What's actually happening here, Gina, is there's an
What's
electrical
happening here?
signal that is being converted. It's coming out of the marimba through our MIDI cable, so it travels through this cord all the way over to the bank of synthesizers and samplers that are over on the side of our stage, where we...
So for the technologically uninitiated, right, it's like water coming from a tank moving through a pipe to a glass. This sends electricity like that. Do you get it, CNET? Do you get it? Unbelievable. I can't fucking... Like, there was a time in our existence where they had to explain the flowing of electrons after 100 years of using electricity.
where we store. MIDI is a way for a lot of to each other, sort of like a network on a computer.
Same thing with these, the turtle drums. But the technology doesn't stop there.
Let's talk about me for a moment.
Meet Rigby, a three-dimensional puppet with a mind of its own.
Ooh, thank you, baby.
So your part of the show is it's highly entertaining, but
and whatever. We're so far from AI. That thing is definitely just like someone Wizard of Ozing in the back, being like, "Oh, take your top off."
Likewise, I'm sure.
There are three things that control Rigby. One is audio. There's a
I'm
woman
putting
named
in the
Jacobson who
Discord
speaks into a microphone,
music
and the
video
microphone audio
or a
level can directly
whatever
control
from YouTube for
Rigby's lip
Dakuku.
movements.
So
Ron
you can
Fisher
look
wrote
at
the
that.
software program that brings Rigby to life.
People not watching the live right now will be like,
Second
"What
thing
is
is
this
Rigby's
video?"
head motion is controlled.
I think they did not exist anymore after 1996. That is the latest date I can find when Googling Dakuku. So we saw them right before they died.
By the mouse here, I can move Rigby around like this and make him look left or look right on stage. And the last...
I guarantee, just between you looking it up and me looking it up, we have Googled Dakuku more than any two human beings have in the last 15 years.
We just upped their visibility by 8,000%. And P.S., if you're going to say this puppet has a mind of its own, don't show the puppeteer, right? That'd be like a piece of felt. Be like, oh, this puppet has a mind of its own. Forget that, like, there's 18 inches of my forearm in its ass. It's like when you get a puppet, you say racist shit at people and be like, oh, I don't know, he's got a mind of its own. It's just the guy working a mouse. It's like, this guy's an electronic Jeff Dunham. It's just about as funny.
The last piece, this device called a Spaceball here, you just press on it, and I can make Rigby's eyes close, look around, look left, look right, smile, frown.
I am absolutely kind of like the fifth Beatle, the sixth Cuckoo, a member of the band, a virtual Cuckoo.
Your stupid name.
Oh, God, this is weird.
So this one of the ways you get to jam with the cuckoo.
This feels like maybe a local reference, and maybe here I like it. So here in the Valley of the Sun, we used to have 3 water parks: Waterworld, Sunsplash, and Big Surf. And I swear to you right now that like the little MIDI thing, that's exactly how all those commercials sounded. And it also feels a little bit like I heard that same sound for like Disney commercials around this time period.
Probably.
Where it's like, hey, come and see the fucking Disney. Go, that shit was everywhere.
Yep.
But also not good.
How are you going to be quirky but still play 4/4? Pathetic.
Yeah, right? No mixing up the time signatures, but again, it's the cuckoo. Like, you think any of them is like, they all look like Milli Vanilli and Jello Biafra, like, and also Mojo Nixon. Like, all those people jumped into a fly teleporter and Cuckoo came out the other side. It's fucked.
This MIDI ball is just one of the cuckoos that allows
Speaking of Milli Vanilli, when I went to see Deadpool and Wolverine, they had a trailer for the new movie they're making about Milli Vanilli.
Who wants to watch a Milli Vanilli movie? I watched the Bohemian Rhapsody, the Queen documentary-ish, whatever. And I was like, why does this exist? Why? Like, not to devolve into a discussion about the Queen movie, but like, I went to watch a movie about Freddie Mercury to be compelled or to
hear about his whole story.
And it's just
not just about Queen.
I imagine it's not even like that. It's like probably Rocket Man probably happened the same way. Where like you have to, like, as an adult, realize there was probably a bunch of fucking and drugs and a bunch of shady shit going on. Mm-hmm. But that movie is like PG in its presentation.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Freddie Mercury's got big teeth and he's like, I want to be a rock star. And they're like, hey, you want to sing for us? And he goes, yeah, now I'm rich. And this guy's kind of dicey and there might be some sexual things going on, but whatever. We'll just sail past that. Like, all the interesting stuff about Freddie Mercury just went
by the wayside. It wasn't even there.
It all hit the cutting room floor. Whereas, like, I don't need to hear him call up his friend to be like, hey, it's me, I'm Freddie Mercury. I want to hear and see all the crazy shit that happened because he was a fucking rock star. It presents his life akin to mine, where he just sort of shows up, some shit happens, and then later he dies of a disease that we don't know how he got it, right? Like, you could watch that movie and not think that Freddie Mercury's gay at all. I wanted to see something happen. Maybe there'll be a Cuckoo documentary. I don't know. We can only hope.
Audience members to be a part of the show. Instruments, this helium-filled ball is full of little electronic triggers. Hit the ball and you trigger a sound. As usual, it's any sound they want.
Yeah, too bad the camera guy actually showed how many people were in the crowd, and there were only 4 of them, so... Yee.
And 3 of them are related to the Cuckoo.
Right, 3 of them are just the life partners of these people.
The Cuckoo have their fingers squarely on the pulse. And to those who say technology stifles creativity, then there's a band I think you should see.
The Cuckoo.
The Cuckoo has recorded with Brian Eno and Mickey Hart of the Grateful Dead. Now, if you'd like to check out their...
Okay. I can't... It's in front of the thing, so I can't really see it. Krista is showing me a meme. FFOP, what's the Cuckoo? I'm the Cuckoo. Hey, stop saying the Cuckoo in there.
Next time you can at CNET Online. You can download video footage from their concert, check out the entire transcript of my interview with Rigby, their computer puppet, and even link directly with DeCuckoo on their own website.
The biopic produced and distributed by A24.
Oh, hell yeah. A24 does it. I'll watch.
Or at least not enough for Dave Ross.
Make it a Blumhouse feature where it's like a horror movie, like Five Nights at Freddy's and DeCuckoo square off in the arena.
I cannot hear DeCuckoo anymore. It's so weird.
It's the fucking stupidest
Welcome again
thing in the
to
world.
Digital Literacy 102. Today
Yeah, Rigby is an abomination. Indeed, he would know.
we discuss a type of software the reviewers like Dvorak find very upsetting. It's called
DeCuckoo.
shovelware.
What's that? This guy sounds like Brian Butterfield.
Shovelware is when a publisher takes a previously published book that might have sold for $15 and shoveled the whole thing, word for word, onto a CD-ROM and charges $69.95. Doesn't that just disgust you? Well, it certainly disgusts me.
Wow, that term has really changed.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's essentially just, like, ripping someone off or, like, using whatever. But, like, shovelware today is, like, just low-effort, lazy shit that is... I guess it's mostly rip-offs, I guess. Has it changed that much, I guess? I was liking shovelware to, like, all the shit that comes out, like, third-party Nintendo games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when the Wii came out and, like... my parents bought a Wii like every other old person did, and we played like this fucking disgusting shovelware lumberjack game. Like, god damn, like 90% of the Wii's library was shovelware.
Oh yeah, the FDO says shovelware, aka most of Wii's game library.
That's what I'm saying. Like like shovelware always just felt like low effort generic IP where it was like slightly ripping off a better concept, but he's saying like it's ripped off wholesale.
Yeah.
Strange.
Like when we were kids and whatever Disney movie was coming out that fall, there would be like a cheaper version at the grocery store before it would even come out.
Right. Oh, like, yeah, you get like the Beauty and the Beast ripoff, like 6 months before it hit theaters, because like whatever Good Times or whatever shitty other animation studios, like, aha, like we'll prey on stupid people who don't know that like Disney doesn't just drop shit to VHS.
Mm-hmm. FDO says, how are we at the same wavelength?
I don't know. It's weird.
It would be as if a movie, and instead of actors in spectacular locations, the screen is the script being turned a page at a time. So why would any publisher publish shovelware?
Money.
Well, because people buy it, that's why. When you have computer owners willing to pay $69.95 to read a $15 book on their computer monitor, you'd be nuts not to sell it to them. And why do people buy this stuff? Well, think about it.
Old people.
Perfectly rational guy, like me, for example,
I'm rational.
spends $4,000 for a decent multimedia computer.
Jesus Christ. Like, it's so crazy to me now that, like, just... It's like anti-inflation, because like the best PC I ever bought, like my nuclear-powered submarine gaming computer, was like top of the line when I bought it, $2,000, and it had, I mean, enough processing power to replace 400 Intel computers from the 90s, and you're paying $4,000 for like 3.8 megahertz of processing power. It's, yeah, FDO, it's fucking crazy because you go like, you can pull out your phone, right? Which has quad core, sometimes they'll have octa-core, and like the processing power that'll run 1 million porn tabs and YouTube and your taxes and Amazon all at the same time. Whereas like, in 1996, it would take you 17 hours to download an FMV of like 15 seconds of porn. It's, and like,
amen.
And the price, that's the thing, the inflation of it. Like, so if a $4,000 computer in 1996, like if price is held, like the technology and everything, the price goes up. So for $4,000, you get 3.8 megahertz. But today you can get 8 gigahertz for less than half of that. Like, people were so stupid in the 90s. But what other choice did you have? They're like,
well, you didn't know any better.
They go, well, it's the fastest dip package on the market. And now what does that mean to you today?
You've got this is like computer Al Borland talking to you about shovelware.
Does look a little bit like Al. It's ironic because Ryan was playing Tim Allen earlier.
That in all the world, there's only about worth buying for it. Well, soon this guy's wife, an otherwise delightful person, is saying, I told you nothing would run on that thing.
Fucking women, am I right, guys? These fucking slashes give you nothing but trouble. They won't put dinner on the table, and then they bitch about the porn you watch on your computer. Ladies.
You weren't there.
Thing. And just to prove her wrong, he tells the guy in the computer store, quick, sell me everything that will run on that thing. And he comes home with the new CD-ROM, the Library of Congress Animated History of Help Screens. You know?
Boy.
And that's why you have shovelware.
Why does he need this fucking piece of paper? It's not even a piece of paper. Like, that's expensive cardstock. Maybe even foam board.
Yeah, it's foam
and
board.
after she finds out what you've been doing, then it's time for a new software product called Grovelware.
Divorce.
I'm Dave Ross.
That's why the fucking plank exists. For this shit joke.
And I get the last word.
Well, that's it for CNET.
Especially with my sea bag of a wife. Am I right, guys? I mean, if they had penises, they'd be more palatable.
And I'm so lonely.
My wife left me because I
My
spent
wife hates me.
$8,000 on a computer.
So this is what Bob's brother does.
So sad. How pathetic. Anyway, guys, I feel like that's a decent amount of time to watch an episode of CNET from 1996. We got through 28 minutes of material over a course of 2 hours, so that's not bad. Ryan, thank you so much for showing up and being a guest on my show, man. I appreciate it.
I hope you'll have me back.
No, I'm kidding.
Well, fair enough.
No, yeah, this was great. I think, it's nice to have someone else who has lived through all of this too, because Krista goes, I played the N64. And I go, where was the NES? She's like, I wasn't born yet. And I go, oh my God, am I a predator? Anyway, we've been over that.
Well, that's like, real quick, I was talking to this girl at work that I thought was really cute, and I was going to ask her out. And then turns out she's 22 and I'm 38, and I felt so skeevy.
Yeah, I get you. That's what I'm saying.
I had no idea she was 22.
I brought this up before, but like the older I get, the more disgusting, like not even young people are to me. Like at my age and your age, 20, huh? Ugh. Because you go like, maybe that's the benefit of hindsight. If you're
high school when she was born,
right, if you're self-actualized enough, you'll go gross. Even if it's like inwardly to yourself, you go, ugh. FDO, I would love to hear a secret from you. Is your wife half your age?
I hope so.
I'm calling Chris Hansen. But that's the thing. There are... Oh, God.
Oh. FDO just turned 26.
Yeah, that's depressing. I'm depressed now.
Damn it, FDO.
No, but like that's the thing. It's not necessarily like a gross thing. It's like funny to be a gross thing, but like in the reality of the situation, being separated by 10, 20, a couple decades of pop culture, like where do you find common ground? Because I understand it can happen where like old people can have interest in current pop culture and young people can have a love of history, and you can find a common ground with people doing that, like old souls, which I find annoying to say. But by and large, you're not going to at 38, 41, whatever you may be at home, FDO at 26, you're not going to, and you don't even have the luxury of that. Because if I meet someone like let's say I'm not married, we're in an alternate universe, and I'm 40, and I meet someone 20, that's still within the realm of like legality. I can find someone half my age, as skeevy as it is, and it's okay. You couldn't do that. You're a fucking James Rutherford. Like, you're 26, and your age is 13, and you're going, FDO, and you're going, like, hey, I'm a teacher, and you can be my student, and that's when that fucking sick role play comes in. Right?
Yeah.
It's still gross.
What's half of my age? What's half of 35?
15 plus
17.
2.5.
17. Gross.
So still gross.
Nope.
I don't know, man, but like, it's acceptable to whatever. Like Jerry Seinfeld, Leonardo DiCaprio, all these people can like date teenagers, and we all go, "Oh, that's fucking weird." Why isn't anyone saying that's weird? Because they have a bunch of money. That's why. Fuck it. Yeah. Anyway, I was closing the show about 30 minutes ago. Let's keep doing that. Shout out to FDO. Give his channel
a subscribe.
What's the name of the channel? God damn it.
Uncanny Jams.
Uncanny Jams. I don't know why I was thinking of Unsullied something, and I knew that was
Unsullied
Jimmy
Sheets.
Jams. Give Unsullied Sheets a listen. That was the thing. Take out, listen to FDO's shit. He was gracious enough to hand us that music you heard at the beginning of the show. I appreciate that. Thank you for everybody showing up, from Dee Dee to Ice Truck Thrilla, which I still love that name. Matt, if you're still out there. Everybody, I could produce a true crime
theme if you'd like.
I would. I'll be in touch offline. Here's the thing. I've got a bunch of drops that I can send to you that you could put into something I will love.
Spaghetti.
Hands down.
Spaghetti.
I think the spaghetti broth on sauce on the floor. God!
Here's the thing. Real quick. Speaking of, we talked about it earlier, like MSD3K. They have such obscure references in that show that, like, unless you grew up in the 70s in Wisconsin, you blink and you'll miss it. But we do that here too, because this...
I made some spaghetti, but I dropped some sauce on the floor.
God. That's a reference you may get. This...
I think the spaghetti broth on sauce on the floor. God!
That's utter lunacy. It's absolutely insane. Same with this.
No, yes.
It's just the way it is. But here we are on this crazy road together. So once again, Ryan, thank you for showing up. I appreciate you for all that you do for the show, from collecting our oddly prescient commercials to, just hanging out in the Discord.
Putting up with, and agreeing with my Wollongate 2024. The shoe fell off.
Thanks for constantly gaslighting me. You fucking bastards.
Absolutely.
Krista, if you can, quickly drop our Discord link in the chat, because I feel like maybe someone want to show up there too, because it's a fun place to hang out sometimes when I'm not being gaslit by a bunch of liars.
I have to figure out how to do it.
Anyway, we'll do it again too.
Talk about the cuckoo, we'll have a good time.
We basically hit 3 topics: the cuckoo, Wollongate, and maybe that's it. So maybe you shouldn't. It's kind of a boring place.
Home of the brave.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Ryan, for showing up. We will see you on another episode of FFOP Radio, and I hope we can see you then. So I'll smell you later.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
For the try to
Fistful of Podcasts Radio.